Welcome back. This year we're going to commemorate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And as we continue to honor the greatest generation this Memorial Day weekend, Ancestry.com is connecting more Americans with their relatives who fought for our country through their incredible stories. Ancestry senior researcher Lisa Elzey joins us with Ancestry members Dan Miller, Georgia Decker, and Bonnie Garlin. Lisa, thanks for bringing these amazing guests here, and they all have an amazing story, so I'm going to go to them first. Dan, tell us about your grandfather.
You know, my grandfather was an amazing man, Carlton Cleveland Jr.
Yeah.
Personal hero of mine, and I'm just so glad to be here and honor him.
Georgia, I know that all three of your grandfathers served on B-17s, which was an amazing part of the war effort, and there's a whole story there to talk about. Tell us about your grandfather.
My grandfather is George Monroe Decker, and he was in the Army Air Force. I've heard a lot about him through my family, although he passed before I was born, but I've just heard his stories and been amazed by what he experienced in life.
I can see the pride on your face.
Yeah.
Bonnie, tell us about your grandfather.
My grandfather was Marvin Brooksby. He was a B-17 bomber pilot in World War II. He passed away a month before I was born, so I never got to meet him, but my grandma always had pictures of him and his medals and his shadow box, so I felt like I got to know him a little bit through that.
You know, Lisa, you two talked about how your grandfather passed away before you were born. You know, they all have a legacy, though, their grandfathers do, and that's kind of what you all do. You connect the people and their legacy to the people that they leave behind, or, you know, their family. And I know that you have family that served in World War II, so this is an important project for you. Tell us about what you're doing at Ancestry and how, you know, you got these three people here today.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, all three of their grandfathers served in World War II as the navigator for Dan, and George's was the bombardier, and the pilot for Bonnie. And the idea that these men served in World War II, it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day this year. They all served on D-Day in some capacity. We wanted to kind of bring people together to represent that service and to help them learn a little bit more about their grandfathers.
Yeah, when you talk about bring people together, you're here from San Francisco, North Carolina, Las Vegas, literally from around the country, brought together here today to talk about your grandfathers that served in World War II, specifically on B-17 bombers. You know, the story of our country is big and vast, but it gets small in a hurry sometimes. And Lisa, I think you got a little bit of information on how small it can get.
I do. So there were about 11,000 planes that were in air on D-Day to help try to clear the way for other troops to come in. So your grandfathers were part of that massive, massive group. And it's really a 50-50 shot when they went up into the air at that time.
Yeah.
It really had a 50-50 chance of coming home. And once you went past about 13 missions, that you already beat the odds. So all three of your grandfathers fought and served over 30 missions in the air during their time in service.
That's amazing. And so when you think about what you know about your grandfathers, how much is their World War II service important and a part of that? Bonnie, I'll start with you.
I think for me, it's the courage that he showed.
Yeah.
I mean, he enlisted. He didn't, before Pearl Harbor, and then, you know, he fought the Army Air Force to let him in as a pilot. They didn't want to.
Yeah.
They told me he was too old. And he's like, I've been flying for 10 years. And they're like, oh, okay, you can come in after all. And, you know, he lost his cousin that also enlisted at the same time as him over the Pacific. And just the courage to go out there and do that. And he was so lucky. He never lost a crew member, which is a miracle in itself. So I'm just so proud of him.
I'm gonna pause for you two because I'm being told we have a bit of a surprise. We have something that is kind of new to all of us. Tell us about this, Lisa.
Yeah, so we wanted to show some records on Ancestry for each of our people here about their grandfathers. So we have World War II draft cards that have their signatures on them from your grandfather. We have a yearbook photo from your grandfather when he was a cadet learning how to fly, like you said. But really, one of the main things we wanted to show you was, guys, a photo. So I think there's a photo that's going to come up. And in that photo, you might recognize some people.
Look right there and see if you recognize anyone in that photo. I know it's a little bit small. There's a bigger one over here.
Do you recognize anyone?
Yeah, that's George.
Where's George?
On the bottom left.
Bottom left?
Kneeling down. That's his stance I've seen in all of the photos. That
Dan, what about you?
Yeah, that's my grandfather, Cleve. He's,
where is he?
He is down on the right. He's
bottom right.
shortest,
and then
shortest
Bonnie?
man there.
Well, I don't have my glasses on, but I think he's on the top left.
He's on the top left. So your three grandfathers
Wow.
actually were in the same bomber crew.
Wow.
Wow.
And they were in the same bomber crew on D-Day.
Wow.
Wow.
The plane that they flew in was nicknamed the Hard-Hearted Mama. And we have a picture of that plane that we're going to give you.
Wow.
You all have the same people together during that conflict.
Oh my God.
And here you are today, all reunited,
That's amazing.
knowing that your grandfathers all fought together. They flew over 6 missions together. And in fact, Decker and your grandfather flew their very first mission in Europe together.
Wow.
You know, Lisa, it's just absolutely amazing that you took it upon yourself, and Ancestry did. You find this picture and you decide to go find the families, and then to tell them about it this way. You know, as a veteran myself, thank you for doing that work. That really is keeping the legacy of our military history alive. Before we go, I just want to say you can visit Ancestry.com to learn more. And I want to thank Dan, Georgia, Bonnie, and Lisa. Thank you all for coming on and letting us show the story today. I want a copy of that picture. That is an amazing thing.
Really
Thank you all so much, and thank you for your family service and for honoring it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, what a great experience.
Lisa, thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.